Long as I recall, she's always been there. Oh, a little missed out, comes with me everywhere. Every time I'm close, that's when she appears, singing all my weakness, playing all my fears.
DJ White Out.
But now I'm breaking free. Looking in the mirror, I can see she's me, standing in the way. Time and time again, I've gotta find a way to break these chains. Though I keep trying, you keep holding on. One day you know that I'll be strong enough not to change, to break away. Show me a way to break them chains. But never release me out of memories. How do you escape from where you used to be? Tell me then, and I'll start again. Show me a way to break them chains.
White Out, drop that.
You tell me that I can't. You always knew what to say to make me feel bad. And coming back to you, running back to you. See, nobody knows me not the way that you do. I thought I let it go when I showed you the door, but you always kept a spare key to my heart. No, I won't let you in. It's best to me again. I'm gonna find a way to break these chains. Though I keep trying, you keep holding on. One day you know that I'll be strong enough not to change, to break away. Show me a way to break them chains. Never release me out of memories. How do you escape from where you used to be? Tell me then, and I'll start again. Show me a way to break them chains. It's been long enough, and I realize what you're all about. You just wanna keep me down. I won't make it easy, little mister. I'm older now, stronger now, wiser now. I won't play your games. You had me that way, but never again. Though the past remains, it's time to break these chains.
DJ White Out.
Keep trying, you keep holding on. One day you know that I'll be strong enough not to change, to break away. Show me a way to break them chains. Never release me out of memories. How do you escape from where you used to be? Tell me then, and I'll start again. Show me a way to break them chains.
Yeah, break them chains, as we do with our shadow work here on these sort of shows. Good afternoon and welcome to another Friday. You're with your host Robbie T Tamatea Tūhaka. Hopefully you're enjoying your afternoon or your morning or your night, depending where you are dotted around the world, because I know this broadcast goes all over the place. To my knowledge, it gets reached in Britain, England, and also California as well, and we might have a potential new listener that is down the road from me, so just like to give a shout out to Nicole Tamati. But anyway, let's get into the show. If you want to get into the links for this show, is if you want to sort of listen into the podcast as well, it's www.spreaker.com/user/109036668. If you want to contact me on Facebook, that's Robbie T Tamatea Tūhaka. And also, if you want to contact me on the MeWe, that's Rob Tamati-Tūhaka. And also the email for the show, if you want to send in questions or any comments, just to say hello wherever you're listening from. If you get this broadcast, that is Blattonboy, that's BLA, excuse me, TTINBOY@gmail.com. Alright, as per usual, we acknowledgements. I like to acknowledge the Truth, Honour and Integrity Group. Thank you for your support you've been giving me through this movement and what I do here in New Zealand. sort of makes me feel like I'm not alone when it comes to talking about alternative things that I should say normal people won't take on board, even though there's no such thing as normal. Also, I'd like to acknowledge the Open Your Mind Radio lads in the group. It's cool being a part of you guys too, and the support you give, and that's Alan James and Stephen George. Truth on Integrity, that's by Thomas Williams, and he has some brilliant shows as well, and some updates from the US of A, or I should say America, because USA is a corporation. And last but not least, I like to acknowledge Randy Morgan for what he does, and exposing what happens there and all over the world. A lot of things. I guess I'll skim through a couple of them, like human trafficking. There's just so many, deep state, what they've been doing, and also what happens behind the scenes with politics. Excuse me, as we all know here. So, Randy Morgan, good luck to what you do, bro. Even though I know that you four get targeted a lot, but we're all fighting the fight for a better world and a better paradigm. So hopefully we'll get there. So just a bit of local news. This is going to be a sad one, especially for the ones from New Zealand. Marama Fox has been taken to court again for DUI and possession of alcohol, and also drinking over the limit. I think it's just getting to the point where she's just, ever since we lost the elections back in 2017 and the Māori Party didn't get back in, that pretty much was her lifeline. So I don't know if she is in a stable headspace to help us with this movement at the moment here in New Zealand, but unfortunately that's just what's going on at the moment. She's just going through her own thing. But as I said before, I know she's a politician or ex-politician and stuff like that, but hey, there's millions and millions of people every day that get pulled up for DUI or over drinking over the limit and driving. So it's that whole thing I said in my other shows, is what makes her more special than any others. But hey, that's what the Portal people report. For the ones who don't know what Portal people are, that's what we call the news media, the mainstream news media. We call them the Portal people because they only tell us what they want us to know, not what we want to know. So it's pretty much the narrative has been controlled. It's a bit of sad news also regarding a house fire that's happened recently, or just actually today, down the road from my brother's work, which he works in at a golf course here in Gisborne, just after Makaraka petrol station. Just a house down the road from his work has burnt down, unfortunately. The family have lost everything, so it's been quite sad. I did have the name of the street, but I lost it, so but our thoughts go out to that family that has lost their home. For the ones that don't know about the Gisborne situation, we have a major shortage of housing anyway, so having a house that burns down sort of just adds to that conundrum of chaos. But hopefully we'll be able to sort out a solution so everyone has a home, because that is a Homo sapien right, as everyone has the right to own their own home. So thoughts go out to that family. Hopefully that something happens to them where they have a miracle where they get a new home or whatever, but everyone, fortunately no one was hurt. The neighbouring houses were evacuated too, so I'm glad that no one was hurt, but just unfortunate for the family who did lose pretty much everything. So yeah, what's the updates? I finally received and the Miwi lot would have seen it. The structural, the draft structure that I'm supposed to be restructuring for the Māori Party converting into a movement. If you didn't listen to my past shows, we have the structure of being a movement, but unfortunately, are still a party due to Julie Nyman. If it wasn't for her input and saying that being a movement wasn't the best, we actually would have actually been a movement sooner. But it's okay. We've got the structure there for being a movement. We just got to do the name change now, because as much as people call it sweeping it underneath the carpet, the leaders that were our leaders when we were a party are not there anymore. So my goal personally is to be the leader of this party or the movement. I am the electric rep, which I've explained in my past shows, which I represent from Gisborne, New Zealand to Wellington, New Zealand, and also been a major part of the meetings, and also the first seasonal meeting for this year is going to be held in March. So that's been going fine. A lot of positive comments this week, especially over the MeWe chat with the THI lot. We are definitely making a change, even though it is slow, trying to wake people up to what's really going on in reality, because of a lot of people rather be entertained than actual know the truth. I'm not saying everybody, I'm just saying a lot of people. I'm sorry, I'm just shielding up because I'm actually getting psychological attacks while I'm doing this show, but the show must go on, so I won't let that stop me. So pretty much the aim of our movement here is to bring back the organic rights. So these are actually not the statute rights that everyone keeps on talking about when it comes to law, but also we're talking about precedents. Because at the end of the day, New Zealand is actually still half sovereign due to the fact of 1840. Not all tribes actually signed the treaty. I've explained that in the past. Tūhoi was actually one of the major iwis that didn't sign. So they are still sovereign and also classed as an independent state. So I guess New Zealand in some way is sort of lucky being half sovereign. Not all of it, but we'll get there one day to get our sovereignty back. But anyway, we're at the last 2 minutes of the show, and we like to end on positives. I like to say that a lot of frequency changes are happening, even though some people are finding it crazy. They can't handle the new frequencies that are coming in due to the fact of being in a lower vibrational state, wherever it's how can I put it? Whether it's just gossiping or talking about people, and just to define gossip doesn't mean, you talk facts about what people are doing. That's actual factual conversation. Gossip is more you're making up things about people and believing it yourself, and also spreading it to other people. So that's the difference between actual real factual conversation and gossip. Gossip is all made up, but it's looking positive anyway, and the changes is happening. If anyone's wondering when the event's going to happen, it's not just going to be one event. It's already started all around the world. The California fires have already been exposed for what they really are, is fraudulent. Because it was actually caused by directed energy weapons. You don't believe me? Actually do your research on it, and you'll see why I'm saying that sort of talk. But anyway, it's been an honour doing another radio show here with Spreaker.com, and also broadcasting to all of you people. So until next time, positive and love to everybody, and you have a wonderful day, night, morning or evening, depending where you are. And until then, ET beaming out. Cheer. Have a good night, or day, or evening, or morning. You've been listening to Robbie T on ET Radio.